Hey guys, into the end here, back with a gameplay video of the sort of Echo Revenge deck that I just did a deck tech about. And this hand is not great, but I'm gonna keep it because turn 3 Hero, turn 4 Stone Powder Alchemist is pretty sweet, and I could always draw some 1 or 2 drops, so do have to put some faith into the deck that it draws into a useful spell. So 3, 4, 5 is pretty decent. I just hope that I can draw a 1 or 2 power spell so I can do something next turn. Nope, it doesn't look like it, but my opponent's also not doing anything, so I'm not falling too far behind. Okay, so let's just go ahead and run the hero out there. There's good odds that it will get silenced against a deck of this color, but I think that will be okay. Certainly not going to block. Okay, it does get silenced, but by a Enforcer instead of a Desert Marshal. That's okay. So on the 4, I think I'm going to play the Stone Powder Alchemist with the idea that I will play the Hero of the People and the Piercing Grief on the next turn. And then on the following turn I can even devour this first copy of the hero, which will draw me a couple more cards. I'm playing against a very grindy deck, but my deck is also quite grindy, so I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. One fun thing about this deck is it's pretty well protected against harsh rules, because I don't really mind these units dying. My opponent's mana screwed though, so it may not be the best representation of the deck. Yeah. I'm tapped out, so my opponent should really just block the 4/4 and take the 3 damage. Oh, he's thinking of killing it. That's fine too. The Revenge will trigger, which is fine. It's always kind of painful to use a removal spell on a unit with Revenge, because you always have this feeling that it's gonna come back next turn, even though it could be anywhere. I mean, the average time that it comes back is 5 turns over a large sample size, but you always feel like it's going to come back next turn, and you've wasted a card. It's actually kind of funny that way. Okay, so let's just go ahead and see if we can give the hero Echo. Because if the hero is on top of my deck and it gets Echo, I can refresh its Revenge with Macdo, and then I can draw 4 more copies of the hero when it comes back. I can't play Macdo, unfortunately, because I'm missing the second green. So what I think I'll do here is actually just attack him, because I'm planning the Harsh Rule fairly soon here. Start by sacking this unit. No, I don't want to sack this unit because if it's on top of my deck, it'll come back, and then I would have to Harsh Rule it away. Maybe I just... Oh, I can't Harsh Rule, so I do need to sack one of these units. Let's just sack the 1/1. I do need that second Justice. Oh, there it is. Hopefully one of these gets me into a land. Yes, perfect. This is pretty sweet, you have to admit. That was pretty awesome. Okay, so let's just attack all in this case, just to get some damage in, because I do plan to Wrath away the board, because both of my hero now has the Revenge recharged by the Piercing Grief. So when they both die, they will come back as 4 copies, and each time I refresh it, they'll come back as 8, 16 copies, etc. So I actually don't care if any of them die. That's too bad, the silence. My opponent is doing a really good job holding out with only 3 power. His units are all very good. That makes me very sad. So this one will die and come back as 2 copies. I think the most obvious block is to use this to block this to block this, and this will trade with that. Yep. Actually, might as well trade with this. Oh no, because he doesn't know I have harsh rule. Yeah. End the turn. It would be really sweet if I had the Zenin Cultist in play, because with the Zenin Cultist in play, those heroes would have been 6-6, and the Piercing Group would have been 5-3. 7-5 at this point. Oh no, he silenced both heroes. That makes me very sad. That makes me very, very sad. So at this point, let's just wrath away the board. My opponent is doing incredibly well with 3 power. I can't imagine how much he would crush me if he drew some more power. Protect? Sure, you can protect. He's 5 power away from using Seraph. So it's just a 3-4 for many, many turns to come. So I'm not worried about it. Okay, so the question is, what do I do next? I think I've 7 power. I can either play both of these spells, or I can play one of these spells. I don't want to play the hero without also having something else to give it revenge, because he can kill it. So let's just start with a Pathfinder. The reason I start with a Pathfinder is if I can hit a unit, a revenge unit, before it loses revenge, I will be able to make more copies of it when it dies. So now I have 8 power. I can play both of these in the same turn. And now this has revenge. That's fantastic. So there's 3 copies of heroes in my graveyard already, but I think I have only used 3 copies in my deck. And hopefully this will come back. Well, I can't give this one Echo, but yeah. My opponent has finally drawn his 4th power, and then played an Obelisk, which is fine. This unit with Echo is also okay, because my plan is to just let them die anyway. So unfortunately this game doesn't showcase too much because my opponent is mana screwed the whole game. And we had quite a bit of time to develop our board. But at this point, I believe the deck is really getting rolling, and it's going to be very difficult for my opponent to come back, even with a more competitive deck like this one. Oh, he concedes. I would have liked to see the revenge chain there. Okay, well that's game 1. We win a game off of our opponent's mana screw, but I hope that it does showcase some of the sweet interactions when you kind of draw into 2 or 3 revenge units or that has been destinied, and with Echo, it is pretty sweet. So I'll be back for game 2 later.